So far, I just see us kids here.
Right.
Thanks, Amber. Thanks, Prithvi. So, all right. People are starting to come in. Good morning, everybody. All right. So today, you guys will get a kick out of this, okay? Our building here in Ellicottville was built in 1995, okay? So one side of the building, we have offices on the south side, we have offices on the north side. The offices on the south side, nobody's getting any air, okay? Now we have 3 5-ton units. We have one 5-ton unit that services the core. We have a 5-ton unit that services the north, 5-ton the south, okay? And it's, you know, each one is a gas furnace heat pump. And they're up in the attic, okay? And we were never able to get any air coming out of these things. And we never, you know, the building was built in 95. And frankly, that's before any of us, you know, we always, for years, we built manifolds, we built tube working tools, but we never really focused on HVAC for diagnostics and things that we do now. So we said, okay, let's figure out what's going on here. So the guys are up there with ladders and looking around, and naturally all the duct work is undersized. We have blockages, and they put in a 90 that the duct went straight to a deadhead and then straight up. And of course, you know, the airflow is non-existent. So it's amazing how the whole industry, the airflow thing is just as important, of course, as the refrigerant charge.
Absolutely.
And many would argue is more important. So we really need to, we're going to do in the future, we're looking at this, we're going to integrate a lot of tools that of course, with duct blasters and things like that, we tie it all together. Now you can truly get a profile of the existing system. And that's going to be a direction I think we should all go, because I think every place that I go now, I'm starting to look at ductwork and I'm seeing, oh my God, that was almost, ductwork is almost like an afterthought.
It is. That's unfortunate.
It's
the air side is just as important as the refrigerant side. Most manufacturers will tell you that if you're going to check the charge, if you're going to adjust the charge, to verify proper airflow first. So it's usually one of the first things that you should do is get in there and look at the air side.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we put that into the iManifold and the iConnect. Before we can actually do true diagnostics, it tells you first, you know, if there's an airflow issue, it's going to stop you.
Yes.
So the first and foremost, airflow issues have to be taken care of before we even diagnose. So
yep.
It'll tell you, if we got low airflow, things like that, it's going to stop us before we go on anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And then taking it to the next level, so we get true airflow and duct sizing, you know, tying in some kind of duct sizing algorithm for the guys that are doing commissioning. Because and even it has to be even before the commissioning, right? It has to be at
the install phase, yeah.
Right. Yep. And, you know, to do it right, I can't believe it's going to cost that much more money, right?
It costs more to go back and redo it than it would have to.
Yeah,
right.
All right.
We've got our people feeding in. Here we are. We should be.
I think we're set, huh? We'll start. What time we got?
7:02.
All right. Yeah. So we'll start. Okay, everybody. I'm Bill Northrup. We have Eric Rudia. We have Jason. Jason, I'm killing your name again.
Yeah, don't worry. Jason Ubjute.
Ubjute.
Very good.
Ubjute. All right. I think after a year, I should have. So, okay. So again, thank you all for coming. We're going to cover the TRANE commissioning report. This, we hope, will be the first of many. We want to walk through all the OEMs and have commissioning reports for all of them available to you cloud subscribers. So without further ado, I'll let Eric start the show.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Once again, my name is Eric Corduccia. I'm from North Park Innovations. Been doing the iManifold and iConnect since we first started the program. And now, as we advance further into what we're doing here, we now have a TRANE commission report that we've discussed with the TRANE TSMs. They're very much so in favor of this, rather than having this 4-page report when you're commissioning a new system, whether it's a package unit, a split with a furnace, or a split with an air handler. TRANE has a commission report that needs to be filled out and sent into them. It's going to give a lot of information to them: line set sizes, performance, all kinds of important measurements that they want in relation to warranty. So what we've done is we've compiled this report, took it from paper and made it digital now, so it's embedded into our system. I'm going to give you my screen here, and we're going to start up with showing the system on the iManifold. So right here on my iManifold, we're set up on a system. It's a 410A 5-ton with a TXV. This is just demo data that I'm pulling through here. Right now, this is just gauged up measurements here, just your pressures. I've got suction line temp, liquid line temp, discharge line temp. I have supply and return, and we do have a manometer on this as well. So right now, we're going to put in parameters. We're going to do just as we would on a normal system. Once we're gauged up and our thermistors are in place, we're going to profile the system and put a nominal tonnage in. So from our 3-bar menu here, I'm going to go into equipment profiling and select the proper profile. This is a 16 SEER, straight cool, 410A, TXV. Actually, what we're going to use it on, we're going to use this on a heat pump. So I'm going to change this. We're going to put a new profile in here. We select our refrigerant, 410A. This is going to be a heat pump in cooling mode, standard TXV. We're not benchmarking anything yet. We'll do this as a 19 SEER. No pressure controls. Standard type on the evaporator. And our target superheating subcooling, we'll leave that. The target subcooling is 10. We're going to leave that just as that. We're going to create a quick profile and submit. I'm just going to use auto name. That's the best option we have here. This is going to pull in all of our information right here, 18 to 22 SEER, heat pump in cooling mode with a TXV. So now in our measurements here, we're going to put in our nominal tonnage on the system. So we're going to go back into our 3-bar menu, scroll down to measurements. We have our pressures and our temperatures already set. This is being pulled in from the system itself. Air across the evaporator. This is our air side supply and return. Plus we have our static pressure coming off of our manometer here. Airflow and nominal tonnage. We're going to use our airflow method as estimated auto calculated. We're going to put in our nominal tonnage value. As usual, when you put in anything into any of these fields, upper right-hand corner here, the submit button, your best friend in the industry here. Select our information. We've got our profile in. We have our tonnage in. So we've got an airflow measurement here showing that we're good on our airflow. Aesthetically, everything in our center here is looking pretty good. Our pressures over here, we're a little bit high on our head pressure. We can adjust that. Here's our air side on the bottom, 75-degree return air dry bulb. 62.6 on our wet bulb. Our supplier is 55 degrees with a 51.8 on our wet bulb.
Hey, Eric, as a little point, we have quite a few folks who have just called in. They don't actually see the screen. So for all you folks that have called in, remember, we're going to post this on our channel. And so you'll be able to see what goes on. But in the meantime, we can tell you a little more detail than we normally would. So thanks, Eric.
So across the bottom here, you have your targets. We've established 118 on our suction pressure target, 319 on our high side target, and we've set our superheat and subcooling targets at 12 and 10. Going across here, we've got our tonnage in now, so we're actually producing 4.64 tons, 55,701 BTUs with a 20-degree split. Now, as you notice over here, we do not have an EER over here yet. So we're going to go back into measurements and collect our data, our electrical data, so we can get an EER measurement. So we go back into our 3-bar menu, scroll down to measurements again. I'm going to shrink this one down. We've got our electrical here. Now, as you can see on electrical here, we have the options to use wireless meters. One is the Redfish, and then also, of course, the UEI, which is an all-in-one clamp meter. And we can take our measurements wirelessly with those too. So this system right here, we're going to go ahead and populate some voltage here. This is on our condenser side. We are using a heat pump. Get these faces out of the way here. Nominal voltage is 240 on our air handler. So now we've got amperage and voltage on both our condensing unit and our air handler. Now, of course, we do have a microfarad, a capacitor test for the system as well. You can use this on your multimeter as well. Populate these your rated microfarads, measured hertz. You know, use 60 right here in the U.S. if you don't have anything to measure it. Then your voltage, going from common to hermetic on your compressor, and then the amps, of course, as well. We're going to submit our electrical information, and now our EER is populated. So now that we have the system up and running, we're getting all of our measurements, our pressures, temperatures, saturation temperatures, what have you. We're going to go ahead and start this project and go into our commission report. So to get into our commission report, we're going to go to the 3-bar menu, open this up. At the very top, we've got projects and reporting. Now, mind you, on these commission reports, these are for the commission report is part of a cloud-based subscription. I believe they are available to a non-subscriber. I'm not sure what I haven't even looked. I apologize. I haven't looked to see how much the pay-per-click report is on. Do you know that at all, Bill? What the fee is for the pay-per-click on this thing?
You know, I got to tell you, I don't. We'll have to take a look at that. I want to say it's $1 to $2, but we'll have to check out. We haven't really gotten a lot of traction. Most folks really like the monthly cloud that what we're doing, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
moving forward with the report, we enter into our projects and reporting. We'll start up a new project here, and we're going to make this new. So our project ID, closer to me here, our project ID, we're just going to put in, we'll say TRANE test.
And I'd just like to make a quick announcement. If you have questions while we're going through this, please jot them down, use the chat so we can address some of the questions as we go through it.
We'll put in the mocked up job number. We'll just go 111. And this is going to be a new installation. We'll submit this information. Now, we profiled the system previously, so our profile is saved. We just put in our project information. This is the start of it here is going to be the same as any of your reports. We're going to take that standardized information right off the get-go and populate the rest of the report with this. So we still have to get our customer information. And I'll be the contact. Oops. Now this email that I just put in right here, yes, it's my email, but on this is where you can optionally send this report to your customer. You can send this into your TRANE TSM. You can add another email at the end of this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and geotag the address. This goes off of your GPS on your smart device. Sometimes it's not exactly correct because this one is not. Go ahead and drag and drop onto the correct. We've got the correct address. We're in the climate zone. Our estimated electrical rate and estimated annual usage, that is still populating in here. Now our equipment information. So we can either go by our HRI certificate. If we have the certificate from the certificate number from TRANE, we can populate this. It'll search for it. I wanted to pull one up, and I got time delayed yesterday to pull one up. Next training, I'll have an HRI number in here to put in. So without an HRI certificate, we're just going to go in here and populate the system. We can name the system. We'll just say, on this one, we'll say family room. Then, of course, we can geotag that piece of equipment. We can always zoom in on this as well. Go exactly to where that piece of equipment is. We'll just say that it's right there. We'll save this location and continue on. Now, at the same time, we can always take an equipment photo. On something like this, I would take a photo probably of the nameplate of the condenser, the plate on the package unit, whatever it might be. We can also type in some notes here. This system that we're looking at right now is a split. So we'll configure this as split. If it was a package, we can configure this over to package. Some of the information does change. When you go to a split, now we're looking at line set length and a few other fields here. We'll say our installed line set length is 15 feet. Nominal tonnage is 5. Our rated ESP is 0.8. Now, mind you, we do have we're running a manometer on this system already. That was our rated total external static pressure. Our rated airflow, 2250. Rated capacity, 59,800. Blower motor type. We're going to use, this is just an example, we use a variable speed ECM motor. Now ask us our condenser information as well. Number of circuits, we've got a single compressor system. Our condenser phase is a single phase. Voltage, 240 volt. Manufacturer. Scroll down here to TRANE. Our model number, we're just going to put in X234. Serial number 222. Mocked up information. Then we also have compressor comments that we can put in here. So if the thing's running smoothly, blankets torn, whatever you want to put in, any comments in here that will help you out in future reference, go ahead and feel free to put them in. Now this is an air handler split heat pump. We've got an air handler here. It's a single phase. Our nominal voltage is 240. Manufacturer is TRANE, so we just tap same as condenser. And we'll put in a model number and a serial number. Now the air handler has a contained coil, so furnace and evaporator not needed. And we submit our information on our equipment. So now all of our job information is greened up. All the fields that need to be filled out are there. Now we're going to go into testing and performance. From this right here, we can take a look. We can view and input measurements just in case we forgot to put in, say, voltage. If we're doing it manually, we can always take a look at it. We can take a look at performance, see what the system's doing completely. We also have the option to do an evacuation test. Little in our line of work right here, what we're doing, we're just going to omit that evacuation test, of course. Now we've got our measurements in and our measurements out. Broken, fixed, commissioning, you can take either one, measurements in or measurements out. It's just when we print the report out, we're doing basically just a commissioning report, so we can select either one. It's just we need to make sure that we select that same measurement in or out to match up on the report. So we'll use capture measurements in. So all the data that we have, the pressures, the temperatures, our information from our manometer, voltage, amperage, and everything else, it's going to be snapshot right now onto the report. So we capture the measurements in, have that info, and now we're going to go down to reports and checklists.
Eric, real quick,
Yes.
we would use the capture measurements out. We get to the unit, we're doing, say, a service. We would hook up, gauge up, put all the info in, capture it, and then do whatever repair, cleaning, service, and then capture it out to show the difference in the readings.
And you know what? We can do that right now because this is the way the system was. If we take a look at these measurements, our pressure is up high right now. So now I'm going to adjust pressure. We just took out a little bit of refrigerant. Let's take a look at our iManifold again.
It's moving into the target area.
We're moving into the target area, that we are. Let's just make a quick adjustment. Let's just match up what we got. Okay, we got 320 on that thing. We'll go into our measurements and we'll go ahead and make this right. Now we're within range here. Our subcooling has jumped around here, so let me change this. We'll just make this thing go into right here. There we are.
Again, what he's doing is we're doing a simulation here. This isn't something you would do in the field.
Yeah. This is just a simulation. I'm just moving some stuff around now. We've got an airflow thing going on here.
And what he's doing is changing it so that he can show you the capture in and the capture out.
Go. Now we're all back into play here. Now we're going to go back into our report. And I mean, this is something that you're going to need to do anyway, because I mean, let's just face it, when you install the system, that factory charge is never 100% correct anyway. So commissioning the system up, it's like a package in it, or even a split. Once the system is commissioned and running, even on a package in it, if you take a look at the directions for the install, and I know everybody they don't even look at them, but what the manufacturer wants you to do is run it for 12 to 24 hours before you make any type of an adjustment on the charge, to make sure everything, the system's run in, everything's going properly, then make your adjustments. So right now, we just made an adjustment. We're going to take a look at our measurements here, because when I did the capture measurements in, what it did, it kicks out our electrical measurements because it forces you to take another measurement. So we're going to do another measurement on our voltage. And we'll submit that information. All of our information is back to normal here. We've fixed the pressures. We fixed the temperatures here. So now we're going to capture measurements out. Both of them are in play here. So now we've got a TRANE commission report. And you can see right down here, second from the bottom, TRANE commission report. We're going to start this report up right now. Now, mind you, all that information that we just took, the pressures, the temperatures, a lot of that is going to be populated on this report for you. So we start from section 1. Now,
this is available with the cloud subscription.
Yep.
Okay.
So make sure project info, customer info, equipment info, and system profile are entered and the required measurements are captured. So when we started off on the report, those measurements that we started off, pressures, temperatures, airflow, and everything else, all that information is being pulled into this report. So section 1 is our title, the dealer. We're just going to use TRANE dealer. Our process here. Now, mind you, on the TRANE commission report, it's a few pages long. What we've taken is everything that's on those reports and just transmit and put them on into our program here, so we can populate them right here on our application. So it's going to look a little bit different, but all that information that was required for the TRANE commission report is it is in this. So our process here, we're looking at cooling mode. You've got a choice between cooling mode and heating mode. We're in cooling mode. Our flash rate, it's going to show up on the board on this thing. We're just going to say it's 5+2 on the flash rate. Record the CFM.
You want to take a second and explain what that flash rate is?
Yeah, that flash rate, it'll flash codes. It'll flash codes on there and it's a self-diagnostic system on the TRANE units. And while the system's operating, it'll flash a code. Either it's running normally, there's an issue with airflow, whatever it might be, and it'll flash a code up there. This way you can record the flash code.
So this is right off the IFC from the TRANE unit.
Yes. So next, we're recording our CFM from service facts or product data. The system was rated at 2,000 CFM. Now, if the motor speed tap here, if it's non-variable, if it's a PSC, it could be in medium, high, low speed, whatever it might be. We have a variable speed on this one, so this is not going to be filled out at all. Our motor amps. Test our motor amps here, 3.5. Return air dry bulb temperature, return air grill. We're gonna, this TRANE commission report, it actually asks you to physically measure that and populate it. It's just double checking you. Measure that, 75 degrees. Calculate and record dry bulb temperature drop at indoor unit. 15 degrees. We're just using demo stuff here. Outdoor measurements here. On the TRANE commission report, they want to know if your line sized up properly. If If you're doing a split, you get a 5-ton unit. They're not going to want to see 3/8 and 7/8 or 3/8 and 3/4 on your line size. We're going to make sure here. So on our liquid line, we'll say it's 1/2 inch. We've got 1 1/8 on our section line size. Length in feet. What did we have on there before?
15.
15 feet. If the indoor unit is above the outdoor unit, how much further up is it? We'll say it's sitting up in an attic. We'll just say it's 8 feet higher. Or if the indoor unit is below, if it's sitting in the basement and the condenser unit is sitting outside at ground level, you're going to want to put how far below the outdoor unit it is. Record the low voltage with the system operating. 24.2 volts. Our discharge or liquid pressure.
322. 422, I think, or 322.
322 psi. Now we're going to our equipment info. We've already recorded all of our equipment info as far as the condenser and the air handler and everything else. This is some extra equipment here. Our comfort control thermostat model number, the serial number of it, any other accessories you might have.
Electronic air cleaner, 4-inch media filter, different things like that.
Things like that. You've got your accessory model number and serial number. And then the next section of the report are your technician checkoffs. Was the load calculation completed? Yes, it was. Condensate drain with trap flow, was it tested? Yes, it was. Secondary pan flow tested? Yes. Ducts were pressure tested and sealed? Yes, they were. So this is for the technician to go down the line and make sure that everything was done properly. On the TRANE commissioning sheet, this is just simply a long checklist, and it's just a yes or no. Air balance completed? Yes. Outdoor unit, indoor unit, and thermostat are level. Vent system complies with code. Hole behind the thermostat is sealed. Grills and registers are sealed to wall or ceiling. Did you explain the system operation to the owner? Equipment documentation given to the owner. And the warranty explained and registered. Now over here, like I said, we're using an example of a variable speed system. On the TRANE units, they have 2 banks of switches, switch 1 and switch 2 side, which there's 5 switches on each side. Put the configuration on where they sit. Once you get that configuration set up, now we can go down here and the customer can sign his name. Once everything's been explained, commissioning set up, just put the signature in here.
Must be a doctor.
It is. And now we can submit this to our cloud. If we need to go back and save this draft to do something else, say we forgot to we forgot to clean out the condensate. Oh, let me go take care of that. We can always save this draft and come back to it. But since we've got everything taken care of, we submit this to our cloud. Everything's said and done. Now everything's over in our cloud. Now we can take a look. I'm going to share a different screen here so we can take a look. Back again. Now we're going to log into our cloud. You're going to go straight over to your iManifold website. Up here on login, we're going to log into our cloud. And there's our TRANE test right here. Our over here. We're going to generate the report. Select which report we want. Go to a TRANE system commissioning report. Download this report. All right, our report is downloaded. Now we can view it. And there's our commissioner report here. So as you can see, we've got our verified logo up here. TRANE, it's hard to stop a train. iManifold, TRANE system commissioning report, your project name, project ID, our date and time of service. There's a new installation. There's our customer information. There's you as a contractor, your information with your logo.
And Eric, as it relates to that, will they be able to put their logo at the top instead of the iManifold logo?
As far as right here on the report,
Right, where it says verify up there on the upper left-hand side.
that's what essentially what we really wanted to do was move this, the verify,
Right,
down to the bottom over here
right.
and really highlight the contractor. So I mean, this can be moved. We can move that up.
Right. That's what I thought, because we want the contractor's logo right at the top on the left. So
Yeah, we want that highlighting the
Right.
contractor for sure. You know, so we have the contractor, we've got TRANE right here.
right.
Yes, we're gonna keep iManifold TRANE commission report
Sure.
right
Right.
there, but down below is where we're gonna put the
Okay.
verified.
Thanks. Cool.
Over. Perfect. So now down here in our project information, our system information is published right here. Condenser manufacturer TRANE, condenser model number here, condenser serial number, our furnace or air handling unit, TRANE, model number, and serial number. If it had an evaporator in here, we've got the spaces for the manufacturer, the model number, and the serial number as well. Here's our airside measurements. System airflow and tonnage. Our
Normally, Eric, I'll stop you right here real quick, because
Uh-huh.
we're using the demo data. We don't have the verified check marks. When they're in the field using their tools, that area right there will have the check marks that it was taken by the instrumentation.
Thanks, Jason. Yep, I was going to get to that. So,
Sorry.
you know, normally this side right down here, all this information, including the electrical. If you use the UEI or the redfish meter to record your electrical, it will have a verified check mark all the way down this side as well. So here's our system profile, our heat pump and cooling mode. It's a split configuration. Nominal tonnage is 5. Here's the type of condenser that we have, the evaporator, our target subcooling, our target superheat. There's our airflow, our nominal airflow, nominal capacity, our refrigerant, standard CXV, our measured system performance here. BTUs, actual BTUs, total. Our capacity realized, that system's running 99.6% of capacity due to conditions. We also published our sensible and latent BTUs, show where the work is being distributed. Our condenser watts, air handler watts, that's being put into our total wattage. Take our total BTUs, divide them by our watts, and then we've got our EER right here. Our evaporator performance is also shown. Our equipment geolocation.
Now, if they had chose to take a picture of the data plate or the equipment, would that show up on the report?
This one right now, no. I'm going to show you something that we can do right now, though. We can add a whole photo page. We can do a whole photo page. So right here, this is our refrigerant circuit. Our captured measurements in here. There's our suction pressure. There's our head pressure. All of our temperatures, superheat and subcooling. And just as Jason was saying, if this was measured by the tool, all this is verified. You'll have verified check marks all the way down here. Now here's our TRANE checklist. Section 1, the dealer. We just put in TRANE dealer here. There's our CFM LED flash rate. CFM from our service facts, published right here. Motor speed tap if non-variable speed. We used a variable speed on this one. Amperage, air handler packaging, returning our static at inlet. Remember we had our manometer working, 0.26, 0.28. There's our total external static is 0.54. There's our returning our dry bulb. All of our measurements here. Everything's all filled in. There's our liquid line, our section line size, the length of the line set, the information, every bit of information that TRANE wanted to know is on here. Our additional accessory information, check blocks, dip switch setup, and customer signature. So everything's all set right in here. Nice little package to get that TRANE commission report sent out to one of your customer, to TRANE, to your TSMs, TSAs, whatever they go by over here. Just depends on what part of the country you're in. Now, as Jason brought up about photos, what we can do here on photos is, let me get this out of the way here. We'll go back into our iManifold. Do you have my iManifold screen now?
Not yet. I'm still showing the report.
1 second.
I have you.
There we go.
Yep.
So now back into this report here, we can add photos and comments. Now all we're going to do is, I'm going to, let's see here. We're going to use this for our photos here.
It won't let you do it as long as you're using
Nope,
your video
it's
camera.
not going to let me do it.
Add some data such as, the unit was dirty or something in the comments. So just to show on the report where it would come up. Or was damaged on delivery or something along those lines.
Without the picture, I don't think it's going to store
Okay,
that.
Gotcha.
Because I'm using the camera on here. Gosh darn it.
So
But,
maybe that's an issue with a laptop.
Yeah, that's using it on Windows here. I'm using this on my Windows 10 laptop.
Right,
When we're projecting on here and doing this video call,
right.
it's not allowing me to use, I don't have a secondary camera. So if we were using a, say an iPad or an Android, a Galaxy, a phone that had the dual cameras, you'd still be able to do both.
Right.
So putting in these photos and comments here, you can add that photo page. And let me get in here to my, get into my photo page here on another one. Let's see here,
I got a quick question for you too while we're going through this.
Go ahead.
If we had pulled a vacuum during this installation, on the report, would it show that? Would it be attached to the report as well? Or would that be a separate report?
Vacuum reports are separate. That's a separate entity because we've designed that to where anybody can use the vacuum report.
So
That's
you
not
generate two, right? You do one as the train commissioning report and another one for the vacuum.
Yes, that's going to be a separate thing because you don't even, cloud isn't even necessary to do an evacuation report.
So when they do a commissioning of a new train unit, they don't require a proper vacuum report. Is that right?
They're not requiring a report, but
I mean,
it
you're
would be,
right?
I mean, just right now with that commission report, we're just going along with what TRANE specifies, you know, for their commission report. They're just making that assumption that the technician, you know, did a 500 micron evacuation.
Hold down. So maybe over time, that's something that they'll want to see, and we might want to integrate it in.
Yeah, we can attach it right in there.
As we develop these reports, as we develop this technology to really encompass all activities that you have to do in order to get a properly commissioned system. So that's interesting. Yeah.
That was a good point. That was brought up by one of our attendees.
That was good.
Thanks, Robert.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, Robert, very good.
So let's see here. Let me go back into another test here. Let me show you something. And it's just going to be my ugly mug here that you're going to see.
Part of the test?
Yeah, this was a test that I did before. And let's see here. We're going to generate this test. This is test X.
All right.
And what I did is I threw in a couple of photos. And I mean, when I wasn't on a webinar or anything like that, we took the photos. I took the photos right here, and it was just, you know, of course, my shooting me. But I was able to actually have a photo page. Yikes! There it is.
Whoa, there he is.
Nice.
So,
Cool.
so now with this, you know, not projecting, you know, on here on a webinar or anything like that, you can put those pictures in there.
Cool. Another question, Eric. Can you scroll down?
So, I mean, during the whole install, you can take pictures of, you know, the equipment as it came, after everything's all sealed up, make sure that everything's all level. That way you've got a nice photo record of everything that you've done as far as that install goes.
Cool.
Eric, can you scroll down on this report to the capture measurements in? Where would we show the capture measurement out?
What we could do here, hold on one second, I'll show you this.
I mean, in all reality, there's only one capture because you're commissioning a unit, right? It's not like you're walking up and doing a test in and test out, are you?
Well, I did a test in and a test out on this other one here.
Right, on the family room, yeah.
Yep. So if I generate this report, you see where I've got measurements in and measurements out.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Go in here to my train commissioning report, and I use test measurements out. And let's download that.
But in a practical sense, if you're commissioning, you only really do one test out, isn't it? Or am I missing something?
Well, it depends. Sometimes they'll recommend that you run the equipment after install for
12
hours before you actually
take any of these. So
and
you do
here, when I select measurements out, it gives me both.
Okay, cool.
We can see the little changes that we had made to the system to.
Yeah, remember, because we were at 350 on our high side, now we're down to 322.
Yeah.
Our saturation temperatures, you know, we changed those up.
Yeah. Cool.
Changed as far as our targets went. So
hey, I think we're out of time here, guys. So perfect. Once again, Eric, you did a great job. Jason, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you
for the help.
If any of you have any questions, contact us at iManifold.com or send an email.
Please do. And remember, on the 24th of April, we have an actual live demonstration of Eric is going to be demonstrating a live system and showing people how it really, how you get the most out of it.
Yeah, we're gonna go live. I'm gonna either have somebody filming, or I might wear a chest cam to where we're actually gonna go over on the job, because there's a lot of confusion about, you know, what kind of, how fast can you get this done?
Right.
So we're gonna go from start to finish, you know, about a profile, gauging up the system, getting our thermistors in place, everything that we have to do. We're gonna do that running live.
Yeah, that'll be great. Now, I think that will show people that it is really, once you understand the system, to do a proper job, this is a very fast way to do it. So it'll be a good thing to show. So again,
Absolutely.
thank you all for coming, and thank you too for doing such a great job of this. So,
Absolutely, Bill.
Thanks for having us.
till the next time.
Eric. All right.
All right,
Next
all.
time.
Thank you.